This right now. She appeared a few weeks ago. Betsy McCaughey, she's former New York lieutenant governor working with Governor Pataki, and she is an ardent Trump economic supporter and policy advisor, and joins us this morning. You got a bunch of notes here. You want to talk about his economic policy. I do. And Betsy, the fact is I feel bad for you. Every 48 hours or so, this guy gets distracted. Yesterday it was Mika Brzezinski and all that he said about Morning Joe and all that. When does he get on the Betsy McCaughey script to benefit you and his supporters nationwide?
Well, let's look at the last 72 hours. He met with Hispanic leaders on issues of immigration and economic growth. Okay. He addressed African Americans about how they can participate in a Trump economic turnaround. He went to Louisiana to help flood victims.
Can you take his phone away so he doesn't tweet out so we can get on the... I'm serious. I mean, you look at all the people trying to...
You can focus on Mika Brzezinski, but I think these other issues are more important.
What's the number one economic issue we need to focus on now with Mr. Trump?
Low growth. Our economy is limping along at 1.2% economic growth despite robust consumer demand. And the reason, 3/4 of declining business investment. How to turn that around? Lower corporate tax rates. Mrs. Clinton is crisscrossing the country, wagging her finger at corporations and saying they don't pay their fair share. That is demagoguery. We know they pay the highest corporate tax rates in the world. She wants to raise them.
Within that, in the economic policy tangential to this good debate, is the idea of the Trans-Pacific trade deal. Mr. Trump is against that. How can a Republican candidate be against free trade? That's un-American.
Well, it isn't un-American, but I can tell you that it's a major turn in the Republican Party.
Agreed.
Because Republicans are listening. And the fact is they have said for many decades, you're quite right, that free trade promotes growth. And in theory, it does. But too many workers are getting whacked with the back of Adam Smith's free trade.
Well, I'll go with that. Okay,
hand.
That's a fair statement. Betsy, let's bring in Francine Lacroix in London. Francine?
Betsy, are we absolutely sure that Donald Trump wants to become president and that he's not only working on his brand?
I'm having a little trouble hearing you. Please repeat that, Francine. It was a little muffled.
Betsy,
does he want to become president?
Oh, yes, he does want to become president. And more importantly, people who need jobs want him to become president. Not, by the way, the rich people to whom Clinton refers. 8 million more people are in poverty than when Barack Obama took office. And the reason he reached out to African Americans in the speech is that they have suffered disproportionately from the poor leadership of the Democratic Party.
You've got the history degree from Columbia, the work at Vassar before, and you just wrote a good essay on envy and growth in America. How is Mr. Trump, who by all means was born on third base, as somebody else
said, God bless him, I was born on before first base.
Okay, well, that's fine, and you know we know the story and your courage to get to where you are. Very simply, tell me about envy and growth and how Mr. Trump is going to get us from envy to growth.
I am so glad you asked that. His program focuses on reducing corporate tax rates. Doing that will raise wages, it will increase economic growth, and ultimately, within a decade, it will produce more tax revenue, more payroll tax revenue, more income tax revenue.
Get a hold of his cell phone so he doesn't get me upset last night tweeting out. That was outrageous last night, whatever anybody's political beef. Betsy McCaughey with us in support of